Take me by the hand, take me somewhere new. I don't know who you are, but I'm with you.
I feel attacked. Details about Candace Owens' new live studio audience talk show have dropped, and she has a whole new look. There's a movie about a cocaine bear, and it's Thursday, which means we get to do a little pop culture rewind. Plus, what is this I hear about Congressman Matt Gaetz leading a free Britney movement in Congress? I'll be asking him the important questions, so make sure you stick around till the end. I'm Alex Clark, and this is POPlitics. I told you a while back that I heard Candace Owens was going to be doing a live studio audience talk show for the Daily Wire. Now we know not only is that correct, but a lot more details like the name, the format of the show, and when it's coming out. Plus, to go with the new show, Candace has a whole new look.
Are we good, guys? Are we rolling? The timing right now is really crucial to stand up on a platform and to say, I'm here, I'm a conservative, I'm not apologizing. I'm really committed to changing things. This show is going to be uplifting, funny, political. This show is going to be all of the pieces of me.
First of all, the part where she walks in with sunglasses on kills me for some reason. Like, so funny, but also cool in the best way. Play just that part again, Abigail.
I'm really committed.
Okay, now look at this. Twins. I love that the name is simple, just Candace. And I want to talk about what they're saying will happen on this show. Candace describes it as saying it's going to be funny, it's going to be lighthearted. I think the most important adjective is it's going to be hopeful. And even the interviewer was like, do Candace Owens and lighthearted really go hand in hand? Which I thought was funny because that was my first thought. I mean, Candace is a heavy hitter. Okay, she can debate the pants off somebody. And that's the Candace we've come to know and expect. So I think the idea of getting to see this other side of her is really interesting and also really exciting.
I'm getting a whole new view of life. The other side of the potato.
Apparently the show is legit going to be like a late night talk show. It launches on Friday, March 19th with your Daily Wire subscription. They're gonna have a panel, an interview segment, and Candace is actually gonna open the show every Friday with a monologue.
You sly dog! You got me monologuing, I can't believe it.
My number one question is, will this truly be funny and like an escape, or will she do what the other late night shows do, just against their side? You know, will she rail against Biden every single night like they did during 4 years of Trump? She said, everybody is obsessed with bad news, and so it becomes very easy to insert yourself as someone that says, look, this is bad, but here is the silver lining. And the silver lining could have been another name for the show, because that is really what we're focused on, giving people the silver lining. I'm intrigued. Are you?
I am.
Okay, and last but not least, can we please talk about how this is the best she's ever looked? I mean, she's glowing. I love her hair this length. I love the waves in her hair when she has it styled like that sitting on the couch. I mean, absolutely stunning.
My God, she's gorgeous.
Here's some bonus tea. It looks like Fox News doesn't want to give Daily Wire the opportunity to host the only conservative late night show because they just announced right after Candace that they're giving Greg Gutfeld a late night show weekdays at 11 p.m. Eastern starting April 5th in addition to his two other shows. 2021 is the year of conservative entertainment, baby. We love to see it.
This is how we do it.
Have your eyes started to burn every time you go outside? Sun! Sun! Is it hard for you to recognize your friends? Have you started to sound like Nell when you talk because it's been so long since you've conversed with actual human beings instead of your kitchen appliances? Well, the good news is that you can adapt yourself back into society by going to a live in-person show. Charlie Kirk is back on tour to fight the culture war. It's the Gen Free Tour, and it's coming to a school near you with special guests. He will be making 6 stops: University of Oklahoma, Missouri State University, University of Kentucky, Belmont University, University of Nevada, and San Jose State University. You can get tickets now at tpusa.com/genfree. Don't be a vampire. Go outside, you weirdo.
Alex, you sound like a used car salesman, and you just insulted your customers by calling them names.
Are you canceling me? Because it sounds like you're trying to cancel me.
You do this every time, Alex. It's just constructive criticism. Calm down.
Sounds like you need to go outside. May I suggest the Gen V tour with Charlie Kirk? Actress Elizabeth Banks is directing a thriller for Universal called Cocaine Bear, which is based on the real story from 1985 when a 175-pound bear accidentally ate over 70 pounds of cocaine after it was dropped from a plane by a drug smuggler.
I'm on drugs!
Couple questions for the wardrobe department on this film. Does Cocaine Bear also wear a Hawaiian shirt unbuttoned a questionable amount? Does he accessorize with a gold chain?
I'm in love with the coco. I'm in love with the coco.
Now, the original bear from the real story was a black bear, and they're using a grizzly in the image. Frickin' whitewashing in Hollywood, man. When will it stop?
Krusty Krab is unfair. Mr. Krabs is in there, standing at the concession, plotting his oppression.
A bear on coke. Sounds like every gay man's experience going to a gay bar. I want the twist to be that Don Jr. shows up with his rifle. Maybe that's the Daily Wire version of the movie. Cocaine Bear just starts dancing when he sees him to YMCA and then they become friends. Of course, in honor of Cocaine Bear, we gotta bring out the dancing bears! All right, here's what happened this week in pop culture history. In 1818, Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus, by 21-year-old Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley was published, and now it's recognized as the world's first science fiction novel.
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
In 1993, Beavis and Butthead premiered on MTV.
Yeah, me.
Then we scoot up a little bit to 1997. This week, Christopher Wallace, a.k.a. Biggie Smalls, a.k.a. the Notorious B.I.G., was shot to death at a stoplight in Los Angeles.
And if you don't know, now you know, you know.
This week in 2003, 50 Cent's Into Club was a #1 hit.
Go, shorty. It's your birthday.
Another thing that happened in 2003 this week was that 15-year-old Elizabeth Smart was found in Sandy, Utah, 9 months after being abducted from her Salt Lake City home.
I just have so much to look forward. I just don't need to look back.
The same year, the Dixie Chicks lead singer Natalie Maine said in an interview with The Guardian that they were ashamed the President of the United States was from Texas, which led to a massive revolt from their fans.
A Texas trio at the white-hot center of questions about patriotism, celebrity, and what it means to express an opinion that shocks some of your fans.
Do you feel awful about using that word about the President of the United States?
Well, awful is a really strong word.
And in 2008 this week, Hulu opened online for the first time.
Go home, watch TV.
And that's your Pop Culture Rewind this week. Yesterday, I started seeing all these stories coming out that Matt Gaetz was leading the Free Britney movement in Congress, and I about died. So, of course, I had to get Congressman Gaetz on to explain what the heck is going on and why he's fighting for not only Britney Spears, but fixing problems with conservatorships in general in the United States. Matt, this Vanity Fair article is great, and I think you have done such a good job of just thinking outside of the box on different issues and getting conservatives involved more with pop culture and bipartisan issues that ideally people on either side of the aisle would agree with, like the Free Britney movement. And the first thing that really stuck out to me in this Vanity Fair article is that the interviewer says Gaetz, who spent much of the past few years acting as one of Donald Trump's biggest defenders in Congress, has emerged as a somewhat unlikely ally of the Free Britney movement. What is up with this insinuation that because you are conservative, you also can't support Britney Spears? Because I get this kind of stuff all the time. You're conservative. Why are you hosting a pop culture show?
Britney Spears is a Southern girl from Louisiana. If conservatives can't get behind that, I don't know what we can get behind. And right now, it's interesting in Congress, it's only the conservatives who are fighting to take on this issue of guardianship abuse and create more liberty for our fellow Americans. We sure wish we had the liberals' help. We sure wish we had Chairman Jerry Nadler's help to free Britney and host a hearing on conservatorship abuse.
Right, how iconic would it be that, you know, when we finally get Jerry Nadler to come together with us on something, it's about Britney Spears. They also mentioned in this interview that you had said that framing Britney Spears isn't actually the first documentary to change your mind on an issue. So what other documentaries did?
Documentaries can be very moving. They can inform on policy issues. I was against medical marijuana until I saw Sanjay Gupta's documentary called Weed, and then I became Florida's leading marijuana advocate, certainly on the Republican side. And when I saw the movie Blackfish, that documentary led me to do everything I could to deprive SeaWorld in the state of Florida of access to our tourist development dollars. So for the framing of Britney Spears isn't the first time a powerful documentary has motivated my legislative action.
Blackfish was actually the first documentary that I also watched that really resonated with me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just felt like my world had completely changed. So what exactly, though, could Congress do to help Britney Spears and other people's conservatorships? Explain it like I'm 5.
Britney Spears has a story to tell about the abuse that conservatorship can inflict on someone. She was the most powerful pop star in the world, and now she's basically incarcerated in a mental institution with no agency, with no freedom. Congress can hold a hearing and send an invitation to Britney Spears to participate, to show up, and tell her story without her abusive father, without lawyers, without a justice system that has let her down to date. We have 3 branches of government, and if the judicial branch has failed here, in the legislative branch, we can convene a hearing, we can bring Britney, we can hear her story, and help our fellow Americans.
I love this story because I feel like it is such a good way for like teachers in U.S. government classes in high schools to kind of bring up the different branches of government and talk about it. If I was in high school and this story was in the news, I would be all over it. So what do you have to say to the Britney fans that are on the other side of the aisle who might question your authenticity and resist your involvement in the Free Britney movement?
Anyone who questions my authenticity on the Free Britney movement is welcome to compete against me in a Britney Spears karaoke sing-off. I challenge them, I'm ready to go. And look, I may be a little late to the Free Britney movement, but I'm here, and I want to use my position in Congress to convene a hearing on these questions and to hopefully lead to better outcomes for not just Britney Spears, but for many Americans who are also being victimized in the guardianship and conservatorship process.
Okay, well, you brought up the karaoke stuff, so we need the conservatee on what your favorite Britney Spears song is. And if you really want to prove your dedication, Matt, you got to sing a line.
I am not going to sing a line because I don't have any backup dancers, and obviously you can't sing Britney without backup dancers, but hit me baby one more time. I mean, my high school experience was fueled by MTV's running that music video on a loop.
Oh my gosh, I will never forget being in 4th grade, going to a sleepover, and we were sneaking to watch MTV music videos, and it was Britney Spears' I'm a Slave for You, the first time I ever saw that music video, and I just knew if my parents knew I was watching this, I would be in so much trouble. Thank you so much, Matt, for explaining that, and also, Free Britney!
Leave Britney alone!
Thanks, Matt, for coming on, your favorite dude-servative. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, Rachel Lindsay is mad that Matt James talked about his black father abandoning him as a child. Lord, give me strength. And this famous band member is quitting because Antifa is mad at him for reading Andy No's book. Find our music playlist, send in stories that you want me to talk about on the show, subscribe to the podcast, find POPlitics merch, you can apply for YWLS, and submit any questions that you have about YWLS by clicking the link in our bio. By the way, the shirt I'm wearing, shoptpusa.com, and then just use code Alex Clark. Don't forget to like this episode. Curious what you think about Candace's show and Matt Gaetz leading the Free Britney movement in Congress. Share this episode, share stories, and hit the save button. It's pop culture without the propaganda every single day. I'm Alex Clark, and this is POPlitics. Click below to watch yesterday's episode. Please subscribe, thumbs up, share this video, and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss the conservatee. And make sure you're following this show at POPlitics on Instagram for even more CUTEservative content.